Hey, what is up guys? It's your boy Speed here, and today we're going to be talking about one of the strongest cores of the current meta, and that's Huskar. This hero is actually dominating right now. It's pretty insane to me how good Huskar is in the current meta, and how little is being picked by certain pro teams and just pub players in general. So what was the major change that made Huskar a much more viable hero? Well, the main change that made the hero more viable in 7.32 was actually max strength as health regen. It was increased from 16% to 25%, a 9% increase in regen at level 1, which is huge. It's also 6% better, quote unquote, on level 2, which is good as well. So basically this hero is in a way better spot. It's honestly just really, really powerful. I think some of the item supplies are really good as well, and the Axe build is just solid. So overall, I think Huskar is just a good hero. We're going to talk about how to play it, how to lane it, and how to dominate, because this is even a game where they did pick it very late into the draft. It was their last pick in the game, but he could have some issues in the sniper. Let's see how he plays around it and overall just does well against the sniper matchup, which actually can be hard early on.
Also, I want to tell you guys that if you've been struggling with solo queue and you're looking to get to the next rank, I'm going to be able to help you. Like, literally, with the GameLeap website, I'm going to give you guys guides that are going to make it unbelievably clear on what you need to do. So if you've been stuck in the solo queue grind, you don't know what to do, and you want to become absolutely broken, but like actually you want to become much better at Dota, and you want to take it more seriously, the GameLeap website is going to help you do that. So click the link down below. I'm going to help you get to the next rank, and I'll see you there.
So the first thing that Paparazzi does, that he does basically every single game, is he skills his Q at level 1. This is something that honestly just helps you secure the range creep, makes the lane a lot easier. All in all, it just makes the lane way better. If you don't take your Q early on, it's going to be very hard to secure the range creep, considering your hero has a pretty horrible animation and base damage. Right, you'll see that it's very easy for Emo and the Sniper to pressure him off the CS and just make it a nightmare for Paparazzi to CS. So in general, always skill your Q at level 1. The only exception to this is if you're against something like Ember Spirit or Void Spirit that doesn't inherently pressure you too hard, and is a melee hero, then you can actually skill your W at level 1, or even your E, considering it got buffed so significantly. You can skill that and use it just to trade with the high attack speed and the regen that you're going to be getting. So all in all, this hero, the E way better at level 1. You'll see that the skill build is basically always going to be Q into E, funny enough. A lot of people would think, oh, it's burning spears, right? That's the whole point of Huskar. But actually, you just need the sustain early on. If you don't skill your E, it's pretty easy to bully Huskar out of the lane. He's a low movement speed, ranged hero with no built-in stout shield with only 2 armor. This hero is extremely weak, and that's why you also take the second point in Berserker's Blood at level 3 as well. And this is going to be the skill build you're going to see from most pro Huskars almost every single game. From there, Paparazzi rushes his Helm of Iron Will. Pretty standard in a matchup like Sniper. You absolutely need the armor to make this hero playable in any sort of regard against Sniper, because this matchup can be really bad if you don't itemize around it. So I love the Helm of Iron rush into the armlet. From there, he's going to go Gloves of Haste. Honestly, I was a little bit surprised to not see him buy Blades of Attack first, only because, once again, it can be a little bit hard to last hit against the Sniper, but he actually was able to put quite a bit of pressure with his Q there. I'd like to briefly cover that because I do think it's important. The Q is sort of a mini disable, so anytime you're looking to trade with the enemy, if you're chasing them down, you actually should pop the Q. A lot of players don't do this. They only use this ability defensively, where it's actually really important to use it offensively to keep the enemy in place. If you hit them with the edge of it, like you'll see there, it actually just makes Emo have to stay in place. Like, he's literally just stuck in place, and as a result, he gets a lot of damage onto the Sniper, which is basically free damage considering all of his regen. And of course, one thing to note about Huskar is that if you desire, you can always take your ulti at level 6, and with the help of any support, you can generally kill the enemy mid. In this case, they're going to bring over the Earthshaker, and it's a really clean gank onto Emo. He actually did tank the tower a little bit too much here. Probably would have been a much more clean execution if he de-aggroed a little bit earlier. Either way, they're able to pick up a really nice kill onto the Sniper, and I think Shaker gets out as well. Oh, Shaker just he actually just straight up kills FY. That's crazy. From there, if the lane does get difficult, let's say you happen to be playing against a Viper or a Sniper that kind of dumpstered you, maybe you accidentally messed up and died at level 1 or level 2, which is pretty normal on Huskar. It's pretty easy to mess up on this hero and overestimate your hero, essentially. And if that happens, you know, it is what it is. You just got to make sure you go jungle, right? For instance, here, the game got a little bit weird. The enemy team brought their Kunkka mid, and they just give up the tower. And this is fine because Huskar jungles extremely effectively if needed. He will clean up the mid wave here, right? But if needed, you can easily, and I mean easily, jungle if truly desired. On top of that, he's actually taking an aggressive posture in the game here, which is kind of cool. And the reason why you would do this is so that you can participate in securing the bottom part of the map and continue farming. It's a really nice concept I like a lot of mid laners to have nowadays, as we actually just see him, funny enough, go defensively jungle. And let me explain why he does this, right? So what is the reasoning for Paparazzi to jungle this camp and then go back to the triangle and not the opposite way around? Well, the reason why is his team was going for the bottom tier 1 tower, and before he knows that the enemy team isn't going to respond, he wants to be in the area, right? So as he walks over here, he does see that the enemy team is top, but he's not 100% sure if they're going to back off and potentially look to rotate bottom and take the fight, right? And shut down the Enigma from taking the tower. But once he realizes that that's not going to happen and that's not what they're doing on IG, then he's going to go take the defensive farm. So basically, if you think your team is going to get ganked, even as a mid Huskar, you seemingly want to help, right? That's at least his idea of the game, that you do want to shift over, you do want to help, and you do want to be in the area to enable your team. And it's completely efficient, right? Because there's no small camp, but this actually is a buff to Huskar mid. It's a buff to Huskar in general, because he doesn't like when mid laners gank him with high levels, if he's the safe laner or off laner. And as a mid laner, he doesn't really, I mean, he could farm the small camp, but he actually farms large camps better than most heroes, as we see. What a really nice play from the Razor. That was crazy. So the next thing to keep in mind is they did pick it with one of the best pairings in the game, which for Huskar is Omni Knight. The bonus regen from Heavenly Grace and the bonus damage in the early game is insanely good, right? Because your hero has high attack speed, so it really takes advantage of just flat damage. And that's exactly what you get from Omni Knight's Heavenly Grace, as we'll see him get purged here. He gets, I think, 28 damage. That looks like a level 3 Heavenly Grace, I'm not sure. That's actually only level 2, so only 18 damage in this case. Not too high, right? A little bit underwhelming in this case. It's still good. It's about 20 damage, right? It's not bad. But we're going to see him hop onto JT, and this looks like a situation where the Razor could man up. But honestly, Huskar, especially as I was saying, with the Heavenly Grace, just doesn't care, right? This hero is insane. It's crazy how powerful it can become as he takes out the Razor onto the Venge, just evaporates heroes. Like Huskar, especially in the early game, if he gets out of the laning stage well, is just one of the best early game skirmishers in the game because Armlet's such an effective DPS item. So basically the main thing you need to do, and I just want to watch this fight one more time, but you want to make sure your teammates are getting gone on. That might sound a little bit weird, but Huskar is considered a frontliner, and it's kind of wrong. Honestly, it's wrong at a lot of stages of the game. It depends on the game state, but honestly, it's more wrong than it is right, I would say. I would say typically as Huskar, you need someone else to initiate. You can't get focused by 5 heroes. That's usually not going to end well for you. Like, here he sort of gets gone on, but at the same time, Pudge is tanking the sniper autos and the damage from the Kunkka, and that's what enables him to go on to the Razor here pretty comfortably without supports going on him. Finds a really good gap where he can't get gone on by 4 or 5 heroes. So basically what I'm telling you is just don't jump into 4 or 5 heroes and you're probably gonna win the fight, right? Like this hero shreds as long as you don't get focused. And so just play it safe, just play it safe and bait your teammates essentially. Honestly, for the next 4 minutes of the game, he's straight up gonna AFK farm. And I just want you guys to keep that in mind. Like Huskar, for the majority of the game, if the game is even, is either looking to sneak Roche. Like if you're playing a pub, you should sneak Roche the majority of games, just straight up. You should just try. However, if it's not the case, it's hard to do it. Maybe they have TA traps or something like that. Then honestly, you just farm Ancients. Like you should be farming Triangle. And that's exactly what he does, which causes him to be second highest net worth in this game, only behind a Sniper who's having a solid match. It's actually a very, very good farming hero. So all in all, farm Ancients. If the game pace is slow, buy yourself a smoke, sneak Roche, or farm Ancients and farm mid, and you'll be pretty chillin'. As we see him once again farming Ancients. So yeah, he's even gonna go to the bottom side of the map. A fight does break out, so he TP's in, but he was even looking to go to the bottom side of the map. Not really sure what Kunga was doing here because really nice movement. You can see a lot of bad Huskar players here would instantly pounce in. Good Huskar players understand that their hero isn't invincible and certainly can die, especially before he gets this halberd and gets a little bit of evasion for that sniper and for the Razor. He certainly could die, right? So he just kind of takes advantage of the bad positioning of the Kunkka, chips him down, and looks to chip down Ollie on the bench as well. Then only when JT goes like severely out of position does he jump in. And this is great play because he knows even if JT BKBs, there's a dismember and simply a lot of physical damage to take him out. So that was a huge play as they then managed to find a god hook onto the sniper. Beautiful disarm to keep the sniper in place and from doing anything. And they own the fight. Beautifully done from Extreme Gaming. That was perfectly played. Overall great positioning. Pretty garbage positioning from the Kunkka. I'm going to keep it real. I know that's kind of harsh, but that did kind of cause them to lose the fight. But in pubs, like guys, in pubs, there's almost always someone heinously out of position. Someone disturbingly out of position. And you got to take advantage of it by simply soft committing on them, right? Take the free kill, keep yourself in position, make the enemy team overextend, even as Huskar, and you're going to be a way better player. I was going to say look like a better player. You just are a better player as they actually find another jump onto the Kunkka and they take him out as well. All right, next up, we're going to see a dirty team fight from Paparazzi. The execution here from him and his teammates is just extremely good. So they're going to lead up the hill, clearly pretty confident. They got a haste rune, which is expiring, so he's got to be a little bit careful. But he's leading up the high ground, kind of scouting the area. They're going to go for a smoke play in a moment here. And they instantly break on the Kunkka. He's going to make the pretty psychotic play of jumping in right away. I already talked about why this is dangerous. Even with the BKB, right, you can get focused pretty hard. The sniper's poking into him, the razor's poking into him, but apparently with the Heavenly Grace and the halberd, he's just okay to walk it off. Does end up nearly going down. I think this is a great decision of Black Hole here, because if he didn't do that, honestly, maybe the Huskar just straight up dies, as Huskar barely lives on like 1 HP. I thought he toggled here, did he not? This must have been a toggle, right? Did he get lucky? This was so close, actually. Did he toggle? I didn't even think he toggled. I think he just straight up healed from Heavenly Grace and his E. That's what it looked like. I don't know. It kind of didn't really look like. It looks like a toggle in game, but I don't know if that was a toggle. I feel like that was straight up him just straight up regenning, which is insane. And then he gets healed and just lives through everything, which is part of the halberd as well, right? Because it amps your healing. And he just lives through it all, which is why this combo is so good. Honestly, Dazzle Huskar is also still really good. So if you're looking for another combo you can pair with it, I'd say Omni and Dazzle are the two best, for sure. I would say Omni's a little bit better in the current meta right now. Dazzle got nerfed pretty hard, Omni got buffed pretty hard. So I would say Omni's probably the better of the two. But in general, like, this hero is it's just so powerful, and you saw it there. He just lived, right? He's even countered by the Razor. I'd say Razor is definitely a Huskar counter, especially previous to you getting this plate mail, which he's looking to get here. Your armor is not great. He's currently at 19, which is honestly better than what I would have expected. I guess the armlet helps out a little bit with it, but the Razor can really cut through your armor and become a big problem for you. All right, in classic Huskar fashion, he's going to get the second Roshan of the game, and second Roshan is typically when you go high ground. Honestly, third Roshan's probably even better. That's usually when you're going to end the game. Some games you can honestly end the game on first Rosh. If you manage to somehow get an armlet halberd at minute like 15, 16, which is straight up possible, like, it's even pretty common. If you decide to, like, I think this game you got a 15-minute BKB, so you can definitely go halberd and just straight up end the game if they have no Huskar counters with first Aegis. Typically, first Aegis is going to be your farming Aegis, though. Second Aegis will be your first attempt to siege if they have no counters. If they have counters, even second Aegis can just be a farming Aegis. A lot of people don't think that's true, or that can be the case. They don't have that piece of knowledge as part of their game, and they always force on second Aegis. I think players are starting to get better where they don't force on first Aegis, but second Aegis, people will still just kill themselves, and it's just like, you got to be careful. You got to know your matchups. Here, he's able to easily go high ground with the heal of the Omni. The Aegis didn't even get poked out as they head over to mid, and that's going to be about the end of today's video. He's actually going to look to go a Lotus next, which I thought was a great decision because it's really good against the swap from the Venge, but most importantly, and the main reason why he's buying it is number one, he wants armor for Sniper and Razor, but most importantly, and Venge, right? There's some armor component there as well. But most importantly, he can reflect the Razor link, which is extremely easy to time because you can kind of see when Razor's going to run at you, and you can Lotus yourself, and it lasts for a really long time. So it's a really nice pickup here from Paparazzi. Either way, they're going to easily win the game from here on out. And yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed. I'll see you in the next one, and I'm out. Peace.
And that's all, but remember, before you leave, come on, before you tune out, subscribe to the GameLeap website where we are going to help you get to the next rank. If you're stuck, click the link down below, and I'm out. Peace.